back. The heat we've felt this summer isn't just making things unbearable on land. NOAA scientists say it's also increased temperatures in our oceans and even smaller bodies of water.
And so new tonight, ABC Action News in-depth reporter Rochelle Aline heads south to give us a first-hand look at the ripple effect the heat is having on our ecosystem and the work we can all do to help lower those temperatures.
On a sunny day in Bonita Springs, we head out with a team of Florida Gulf Coast University researchers to a place whose name is a bit misleading. At least
it's called the Bar of Despair
for now,
which was named by one of the faculty members because he thought that the oysters were dying, but they actually seemed to be pretty healthy.
For the last 3 years, Dr. Melissa May and her students have been tracking oysters at several sites in Southwest Florida to see if they're alive and thriving.
Oysters are pretty tolerant of everything.
Or stressed out.
I actually measure their stress enzymes.
So far, they've found that pollution from Hurricane Ian is stressing the normally resilient oyster population. And another factor?
You just put the sensors in and then there's this little computer console.
Is rising water temperatures.
So it's about 34 degrees Celsius.
That converts to 93.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Dr. May says the water should be in the 80s.
We came out 2 weeks ago, which would have been, I think, like the 5th day that it was in the mid-90s. And their stress levels were 5 times higher than anything I've ever recorded. So, and they're similar to what I've seen in the lab of oysters that were like near death.
And if you're wondering why we should be worried about water temperature and the stress levels of shellfish, Dr. May says both can signal the breakdown of the local ecosystem.
So these provide the kind of similar to coral reefs habitat. So lots of things live on the oyster reefs, things like fish, crabs, snails.
And it could also spell trouble for those of us who are higher up on the food chain.
It has big implications for water quality. So oysters filter lots and lots and lots of water. They're part of the reason that our bay is healthy. They filter out sediment, they filter out pollutants, and the more they're stressed, the less they filter.
While Dr. May says the bigger fix for rising water temperatures across the globe is a bit more complex, she adds that locally we can all do our part to help keep water temperatures better regulated.
I think just being mindful about what we're doing in the water and what we're putting into the water.
In Bonita Springs, with photojournalist Josh Whitston, I'm in-depth reporter Rochelle Aline.
We know that trees take in CO2 and let out oxygen. It's sort of their thing. It's all part of a process called photosynthesis, and it's something trees have always done, and it's a key tool in humanity's fight against climate change. However, now researchers say they might not do it forever. The problem is that photosynthesis has a high and low temperature threshold to occur, meaning if the temp gets too high, photosynthesis stops. And now using global satellite data, in concert with measurements of tree canopy temperatures all over the world, many areas are already reaching those thresholds. In the tropics, trees can continue to photosynthesize until they reach temperatures upwards of around 116 degrees Fahrenheit. The recent study found that during particularly hot and dry periods, some of the leaves would exceed 104 degrees Fahrenheit regularly, pointing to a dangerous trend moving forward. But the study also found that at least once a season, some leaves on the trees exceeded the temperature threshold, where photosynthesis stopped. And when there's less water due to drought, things could get even worse, as soil moisture is known to impact the temperature of leaves up above. Droughts are expected to become more common as the climate gets worse, meaning the domino effect of global warming will as well.